Conferences in Canvas is the web conferencing tool that we have. Before I go any further, I want to point out that I have this headset. It really makes the audio so much better when recording a video or in a web conference. I really encourage you to get one. I encourage you to have your students get a headset. I got this one. It's a little Logitech headset. I got it for no more than $20 on Amazon about a year ago, and it's held up really well. It sounds fine. It has a really long cord, so I can walk around if I need to. You can pay a lot of money for a headset, but really, this is all you need. Just, spend 20 bucks on Amazon and get yourself a headset. It'll really come in handy when you do recordings like this or when you're in a web conference. To add a new conference, click on +sign conference. Give your conference a name. I usually use the date that the conference will happen and use some sort of name that represents what it is. The time duration is how long after you hit start new participants can join. So if you want your people to come in on time, you could set a duration of 10 minutes. And if your students don't join within the first 10 minutes of the conference, they will not be able to join. So that's totally up to you, whatever you want to do with that. I'm just going to use no time limit for today. Enable recording for this conference does exactly what it says it does. It enables recording. That doesn't make it record automatically. You'll still need to hit record once you're in the conference. You can add a description if you'd like. And down here in the members section, you can either invite all course members or select people individually. Keep in mind that only those that you invite will be able to join. If you do make a mistake with this, you can go in and edit it and re-invite people or add people to the list or take people off the list. When you're done, click on Update and you'll see the conference here. To start the conference, click on Start. And the first thing it does is it asks you how you want to join audio. I have a microphone on my computer, so I'm going to use microphone. I need to tell my browser to allow this to happen. I do some sort of echo test and click yes. And then I also like to turn my webcam on for these conferences, so I click on Share Your Webcam. Again, tell my browser that this is allowed. And start sharing. Now, before I go any further, I want to get a student into this conference, so I'm going to pause this video and get a student in here. Okay, I'm back. Now we have our student, James Test. He's the smiley face on the chair there. And there's a couple of things I'd like to show you right off the bat. Earlier I enabled recording. I can come up here and click on Start Recording. And now Canvas is recording this conference. After I leave the conference and hit the Conclude button, the recording will start to process, and it usually takes an hour or so, depending on how long the conference was, but then you have the recording. Currently, our recordings are only good for 2 weeks. However, in the future, we may upgrade to the premium version, in which case the recordings would be good forever, and you could even save them to your computer. The next thing I want to show you is the user list here. As you can see, my student James Test has joined. And when I put my mouse over his name, this icon appears. I can make James Test the presenter. What that does is it gives him the ability to add a presentation to the middle screen. It gives him the ability to change the layout. And he really runs the show of the conference. This would be really useful if you had students presenting a PowerPoint or some other type of work to their classmates. The other thing I can do with James Test is, had he set up his microphone, I could mute him, and it's very easy to do. There's nothing to do with it right now. I can also boot him from the conference altogether. The next thing I want to show you are the different layouts that you can choose. So right now I'm in the default layout. The layouts are down here on the bottom right. I can change to closed caption, which you need to have somebody separately typing those captions to make this work, but it is an option. If you have a student that requires closed captioning, let me know and we can work together to make this work. Video chat changes it to be all webcam. Webcam meeting gives you mostly webcam with the presentation and the chat up here. Presentation meeting changes things around a little bit. And now this is lecture assistant, and then lecture. I'll keep it on default layout for now. And I also want to point out this button in the very bottom right. It looks like a paper with a link. When you click on that button, whatever layout you chose as the presenter, it forces upon the students. So if you don't want students to be able to pick their own layout, you can pick a layout and then hit that button and it does whatever you want it to do. You can also manually resize these and then easily go back to whatever layout you had before. There is a chat over here. Type, hit enter, and it chats for you. It even logs what time the message was received. This middle box is where you can present content. So I have a PowerPoint that I can put in here, so I click on Upload Presentation, select File, find my file and open it, and then Upload. And now I have my PowerPoint slides right here in the Canvas conference. While I'm in here, I'll show you these notation tools. You can draw with a pencil. You can create a square or rectangle. Same thing with a circle. And triangle, you can make lines. And you can add text. There's also an undo annotation, so if I undo all of these, they'll all go away. And you can select a color for all of those. So that's the presentation window. We have the chat window. The next thing I want to show you is how to share your screen. I don't think this is actually going to work because I'm already recording my screen using Screencast-O-Matic, but I'm going to give it a try. There's a button up here that looks like a monitor. If I click on that, it gives me directions on what to do. As long as I follow the directions, it should share my screen. But again, I'm not sure how this will work since I'm already recording my screen. And it did work. So you can see I'm sharing my screen now. My student, James Test, would be able to see everything that I'm doing on my screen. So if I move my mouse, the mouse will move on his screen. If I run through a drawing that I have, he would see it on his screen. Whatever I do on my screen gets replicated on his. If you're on a certain point where you want to pause it and then go and do something else, but you don't want your students to see, you can hit pause, and it pauses the screen exactly where you left it, and then just simply resume to continue that. Another thing you can do is you can do a poll for your students. You can set up ABC, ABCD, and any option here. And what that does is it pops up on your student screen. They can select an option, and then you see the poll results. So I'll go ahead and do a yes/no poll. And then I'm going to move back to James Tester's computer and answer the poll. All right, so we can see that James answered yes, and had I had more students, the results would come in live, and then I can publish those results, and it shows to my students. There's really nothing else to this. It's very simple. If you'd like to use it and you're a little bit nervous about it, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to do a trial run with you. I've done that with many professors in the past, also with students. Let me know whatever you need, and I'm here for you. Your students will have a little icon that will have their hand that they can raise. So let me do that on the student computer. And now on my screen, you can see that James's hand is up, so I know that he has a question. I can clear that by clicking on it. And this is conferences. It does everything you'll need it to do. I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and I'm going to exit the conference. And one thing I don't like about this is that after you exit a conference, it brings you back to the home page instead of the conferences page, because I still need to go into conferences and end the conference. Clicking end is what starts it processing the recording. Now, if I come back here in an hour or so, this will change to say view recording here, and I'll be able to do that, and your students would be able to do that as well. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I really hope you use conferences. It is really, important for your online students to be able to see each other, to talk to each other, and really interact as if they truly are peers. Also, if you're teaching a face-to-face class, I have professors who make a group assignment, and they might have 2 commuters in the group that live 40 minutes away. They don't want to drive here for a meeting. You can use a web conference to take care of everything you need to do. And as a professor, you could require your students to record their conferences so that you know that they happened. All right, so again, I hope this was helpful. If this is part of a playlist, please finish the playlist. And also please watch our other videos and check out our training course available at my.wilson.edu/Canvas.